Hello, this is the daily Forex report for April 25th. We are looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair had a pretty good range on it today, moved much higher, did come back and pull down and close below our previous two sessions. We are looking for this pair to continue its move to the downside, having a small pullback right now. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 82.81, possibly as low as 81.05. Look for some resistance around 82.50 and look for some support around 81.50. Okay, now the Euro-USD pair. This pair closed up. We are looking for it to continue its move to the upside, possibly going as high as 146.98, possibly as low as 144.61. Look for some resistance around 146.50 and look for some support around 145.00. Now the pound US dollar pair, this pair closed down during today's session. Still looking for it to move up. Look for it to potentially go as high as 166.23, possibly as low as 164.00. Look for some resistance around 166.00 and look for some support around 164.25. Now the US Swiss, this pair closed to the downside. Did break the previous low here by just a little bit. We've already tested it today, this low. We are looking for it to continue down, possibly on a reversal going as high as 0.8921, possibly as low as 0.6885. Look for some resistance around 0.8875 and look for some support around 0.8750. Now, as far as news announcements go, we have the U.S. releasing their consumer price index for April at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that things have moved a little bit higher from 63.4 to 64.5, which would be good news for the U.S. dollar. We also have at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow the Australian consumer price index being released. It's showing an increase from 2.7% to 3.0%. Could, if this comes out at 3 or higher, we could see possibly that inflation is starting to kick in Australia. If it hops above 4, that's really when you need to look for it. See interest rates start moving higher, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Well, as far as what I'm looking for in this next during this next session, we have, if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3 lows that are pretty much in the same area. We definitely have an area of support that we're looking for it to break down through during this next session. We looked at this yesterday, about 35 pips to the downside. Still looking for this breakthrough to occur. I do believe that we will see that very, very soon. So looking to short at 81.58 and looking to take profit on this one at 81.28. So right around 30 pips there to the downside. I believe we'll get that sell during this next session. Now the next pair I want to look at is the we have there we go. We have the U.S. Swiss. This pair continues to move to the downside, and if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3. We have an area there. Let me zoom out a little bit, get a little bit better idea of what's going on with this pair. Continuing to move to the downside. We have a trend line here that if you tag some of these lows, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Let me zoom back in. Excuse me. So looking for it to break to the downside off of this trend line. Definitely should see it go down to the 8,700 mark. We probably will get a bounce from that point, but definitely look for, that's right about here, definitely look for that break to the downside around the 87.60 mark for about a 60 pip move. to the downside. The interesting thing about that is if you took that move, you could probably use a 1-to-1 risk to reward on this. We've got about 60 pips there. 60 pips to the upside is right about here. So far we haven't broken that during today's session so far. So keep all of that in mind. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.